Hey guys, so we're going to make a wire tree. It's my first video tutorial. Sorry, the sun is a little all over the place here. Trying to find a place to record in my garage, which is a mess. So a couple things we're going to need for today's little tutorial. We need a bucket. This is a kid's bucket. I have two children, so happen to find this bucket in the house. The kind of distance from here to here is about 8.5 inches. Any size bucket's totally fine. We're going to use this bucket to cut the wire all the same length. So if you can find something like a pot, or if you have a bucket like this, totally fine. I have used a 5-gallon bucket in the past. It's just a bigger tree, so we're going to make a relatively small tree with this size bucket here. We're also going to need wire cutters of some sort. We also need this thing here. You can see that there. This is a skewer, but anything will work that's circular like this. You know, if you have like paintbrush or Q-tip or something that's probably a little longer. So wood is always better. Metal, something like that. You can use like one of those reusable straws if you have one of those, but this is a pretty, it's pretty small, so it's a skewer for barbecue, like a little bamboo skewer. Other thing we're going to need besides that is aluminum wire. So this is the aluminum wire here. I have a bunch of it. This aluminum wire, it's 20 gauge, but 22 gauge will work just fine. But 20 gauge is a pretty good amount of wire here. Now I have it kind of set up so I can pull it, so I'm not going to hold up too much more than that. The other thing you might want to have, you can do this all in your hand if you want to. I happen to have this is a vise that I have, and it's basically on a tripod that I had. So I basically I clamped this vise to the tripod. Now this vise is a special vise because it has the ability to kind of move, so it's like a swivel vise is what it's called. I got it from Amazon. No, not very expensive, but again, bucket, dowel or skewer, wire cutter, and then some aluminum wire, and we'll get started with this video. Okay, so first things first, we take this bucket. The tree that we're going to make is a semi-cascade bonsai. So what we're going to do is I wrap this end here around the bucket, and I just give it a couple of small twists here, so it's just kind of held onto that bucket. And then I'm going to go around the bucket, so that's one revolution around. Now we need 20 wires total, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and maybe one for good luck here. Okay, so again, I have this wire wrapped around. This is my start point. This is my end piece of wire here. I'm going to take this grouping of wire here, like this. I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to grab my wire cutter here real quick. So again, wire cutter. And basically to this end point here, I'm just going to slip in here, cut the wire. Okay. I'm going to undo it here. There's that wire there. Unloop it here. If I can get this undone. Okay. Now we should have about 20 pieces of wire here, maybe 21. Wrapped it around it many times. So you can see I have this nice piece of wire. Again, nothing too crazy. Now to make the bottom of this tree, I basically just hold it. Now it doesn't have to be even. I mean, they can be a little off. The pieces of wire there, it's totally fine. But we basically are going to use 2 fingers here, and then we're going to start twisting. So we're going to just twist together like this. Now I like my wire to have a bunch of weird kind of kinks to it, so I'm going to kind of twist it and bend it kind of towards myself, so this way, so you get kind of a weird little bend to it. And we're going to twist and bend. Now again, there's no wrong way of doing this. So you can see here that this is, it's kind of hard to see, hold on a second. turn this a little bit more. So you can see it's kind of twisted, and you can kind of bend it more this way and then bend this way, and then you keep kind of twisting around. Now, a big thing for us is we're going to make some of these branches here. So I want a good kind of funky twisted little thing there. And then what I want to have here is I want to have some kind of a puffy branch here, and then one that kind of extends a little way and then kind of puffs out here as well. So talking about little branches and branching pieces here. So we're going to just kind of twist. Now I'm twisting kind of clockwise for most of these things. You can kind of see how I'm starting to make this branch go off to the side here. I'll twist this one too. And you can kind of look to see, how you like that kind of the base of the tree there, so it looks good to you. There's no really wrong way of doing this. And then I'm going to start branching. So normally, if we have 20 pieces of wire here, we're going to all have 20 on each side here. We can decide if we want to have maybe 3 or 4 kind of shoot off on the side here. So we'll start with maybe this one. And I'm going to do about 4 pieces of wire on this first branch. Then you just twist and twist and twist. Okay, you can see my first little branch there coming off is this little guy here. It's got 4 pieces of wire. Then I just grab another 4, and I'll twist off this way here. So now it's kind of twisted that way. That's 4 pieces of wire. Now we still have more pieces of wire, so I'm just going to twist, and we're going to kind of go up a little bit so you can kind of see where I'm going up with this piece of wire. So just kind of twisting as I go. And then I want a couple more branches up here, so I'm going to kind of split this into 2 groups here. We should have another 4 and 4. So twist up here, and the other one as well. Now again, if you can't see what I'm doing, I'm going to try to make this as clear as possible. So I just twisted this branch here of 4, this branch of 4, this branch of 4, and then this branch of 4. And then what I can do is, as you kind of see here, it's kind of made these little branching sections. I then will kind of break them apart, and I'll do some smaller, just kind of 2 and 2 twists. Sorry, I've got some car noise in the background here. So I'm just going to twist this here. You can see this little branch going this way, another little branch going this way. So it may look kind of messy there, but we've got the 2 here and 2 here. And then we'll basically split each of these groups of 4 into two little branches. You see what I'm doing there? And I'm trying my best to twist kind of all in the same direction. But you can kind of see how this is starting to take shape here. We've got some branches kind of going all over the place. Now again, I said semi-cascade, which basically means that we have one end that is kind of puffed up there and one end that kind of sticks out. So as you can see here so far, we've got a bunch of branches here that'll all kind of turn to a tree on this side. And then this end will continue out this way, and we'll probably have a couple of little, things of branches there. But see, that's kind of how we're starting there, if you can see that. Now, I'm going to wait on this side here. I'm actually going to put this in my clamp so we can kind of see it. And I wanted to give you a brief overview of how we make the branches here. Now, I'm not going to do this whole tree in one sitting. That's going to be a very long video. So we just got a few of these branches out to start here. You can kind of see the way that looks. Sorry, I'm kind of bouncing around here. So you can see we've got the branches here. This is some undone stuff here. We're going to take that dowel. Now, I keep calling it a dowel. It can be anything you want, but again, we're going to use this kind of, skewer here. And then I just start wrapping the wire around. So we have kind of a little bit of a, you can see that kind of wrap there. I'm just going to wrap it as we go. And then smush it together. So again, that's just kind of, it makes these little coils. And these coils are going to be the leaves. Now again, we can go as close to the actual end of that branch as we want, but that kind of forms this little branch. We'll do a couple more here. So you can see I just wrapping it around like this, and then we're going to just twist as we go here. And my thumb is just going to help to hold it in place as we wrap all the way down. And then push them together. Now, a big thing for us, we want to make sure when we're twisting these together, we're not overlapping best we can. Again, just kind of twisting and rolling that in. Again, hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. It forms these little kind of coils. Again, just wrap that around. The nice thing about doing the bonsai trees this way is that you don't have to be as precise. One thing that I get asked every once in a while is, do I use different types of metal? And I definitely do. I use aluminum, I use stainless steel, all sorts of fun stuff. Unfortunately, with the stainless steel wire, you have to use a round nose jeweler's pliers, because it's so much harder. So that's the thing where I say, you want to start, if you want to get into making these little bonsai trees, you want to start with using aluminum, so you get kind of the feel down for it. And the way I look at it is, you start with this. I've got some copper wire that I use. I've got some kind of heavier duty galvanized steel wire that I do some really big trees with. And those ones I need to use some heavier duty tools. Again, I do use that jeweler's plier, but I also use other pliers along with it. So you can see I'm just kind of putting these together here. And when I'm looking at pictures, for example, to make these trees, what I normally will do is I'll look at a picture of a bonsai tree, and then I kind of try to count I almost call them like plumes, or kind of the big groups of branches. So you figure that each area needs to have 4 or 5 of these little coils, because you're going to flatten them out and then make them basically put them into a circle. So again, we'll just do a few more of these here, and then we'll do a couple of kind of smush them and make them. Like I said, though, this aluminum wire is easier to manipulate than the other wires. So if you are going to start with another wire, copper or really anything else, stainless steel, anything like that, you're going to want to do a different way of doing this. This is just an easy way of starting. So we're going to take this coil here, this one right here, and we're just going to basically, I don't know if you can see that, I'm going to smash it with my fingertips. So the laundry is going at the same time. So see, I'm kind of smashing this and then pulling it apart a little bit as I smush and pull apart. And you can see how this kind of makes this little chain of, you see that there, a little chain. I'm wearing a dark shirt, you can see that kind of chain there. So that's what you do, you kind of smush them and you pull them apart a little bit by little bit. If you can see this, hopefully you guys can. To be precise, I try to just kind of squeeze them together like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to basically just round them. So we're going to take it and we're going to put it into a circle and make it into a kind of a coil here. See how I'm kind of coiling that up? And that becomes a little branch. If you can see that there. There's a little branch there. Little round. I'm trying to use my shirt so you can see that a little better. So that's how we start it. And we keep going with that. We can keep kind of making these little circles. Now, when we're looking at making the circles, we want to use we want to have the kind of the inner edge here is the inner part. So we're going to roll that in so we have this rounded leaf on the outside. Let's see that. Kind of start by rolling that in. Just kind of roll it up like that. Now again, you don't have to worry about where these branches are to start, because we're going to kind of fluff the tree up a little bit as we continue to make these. and kind of pull them out and kind of manipulate them and see how things move as we're going through this. But that's basically how I start a tree, and I do that. Now again, this tree may take a few hours just because there's going to be, you know, a whole lot more of these things over here, but this is a good start. We'll do this as kind of a couple part video, so this will be the first part, and then maybe I'll add in the other kind of the finishing aspect, or what it looks like when it's all done. Maybe even a little bit of how I'm putting things together and moving things around, but that's basically how we start it. Again, you can do this by hand if you want to. You don't have to have a clamp or a vise, but that's kind of the start of this tree. You can see this, you know, these are the little coils here, and then here is a couple of kind of done branches there, and then we'll kind of move them around as we go. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll do some more of these kind of videos and kind of make some fun looking trees here, but go ahead, you can get started if you like, and just kind of let the let the tree take you, as they say, and we'll kind of go from there. Thanks for watching, guys.